grenades prepared yet?
You need to try and pick off the units as. Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the drone's gonna take this! Welcome once again, folks. This is Cat's Pajamas.
And I am Pain User.
And we are back for game number 2 of this set between Dignitas Select spawning as our blue Terran here in the bottom right-hand corner of Tal'Darim Altar. His opponent down 1 game to nothing is our red Zerg player. That is Liquid Red. So Select going up 1 game to nothing on Crossfire with a lot of 2 racks pressure there. And
so
pulls
sour.
it off so well.
So sour. I mean, Rhett's not happy right now. You know, Rhett also one of those players that really just loves a long macro game. I've talked to him about it so many times. He loves to just really get into that epic game mode and play against someone good who can challenge him, because Rhett is such an amazingly talented player. He played Brood War forever. He's been playing StarCraft 2 for quite a while now. He got into the beta a little bit late, but managed to pick it up, and you know, he's no slouch. But yeah, can't be happy about that. But Select, one of those guys who just absolutely plays to win, and I can't fault him for it, especially when you're in a tournament for $50,000. Like, who cares if you cheese? Do it.
Right.
If it works, do it.
No, you play to win. I mean, it's a different thing when you're playing in a $25 tournament or something like that.
And you cheese every game
whatever.
all the way through to the finals or something.
But if you're playing for 50 grand and you know your opponent has a weakness to a particular type of build, no matter how cheesy it is, you do it. You get it done.
Although everybody hates the guy that goes into a big tournament and knocks out 2 or 3 big name players just cheesing his way all the way to the top.
No,
you know what I'm
I
saying?
understand. But you know, a lot of people gave MC flack in the DreamHack Invitational for cheesing, White Raw in game number 4. But the problem was that White Raw had done the same build 4 games in a row. MC picked up on it, knew exactly what the counter was going to be, cheesed him and won. So I do not hold anything against people.
Oh yeah,
that,
absolutely. If
it's
it's a great player that throws it in every now and then, nothing wrong with it.
Exactly.
Someone like Select, nothing wrong with it. Some no-name player that hasn't accomplished anything, that hasn't tested his merit against any good players, comes in, knocks out a Select, a Rhett, and a Kiwi Kaki, then people are obviously going to have problems with it. You're going to get a really bad rap. But at the end of the day, a good rap or a bad rap, a rap is a rap. At least you're making a name for yourself.
And if you have a good share of a $50,000 prize pool in your pocket, then more power to you. So, all right, guys, so let's get into this game now. We are on Tal'Darim Altar. We are close positions vertically. Looks like Select putting down the double depot and barracks wall to start the game. He has already started with his gas as well. There's his 150 for a factory if he wants to do it. There it is.
Oh, my goodness. We have a bunker going up at the natural expansion, and it looks like he's actually going to be able to finish it. The SCV was blocked between the 2 mineral patches, and he's going to be able to get a Marine in there right off the bat.
That timing is so good.
Unreal, right?
He had that perfect. I mean, the Marine walks up, the bunker finishes, he gets inside. So now Red is forced to put all these drones over here just to stop any sort of Marines that are making their way in. And this is all just lost mining time.
Wow, picks off a drone outside the natural as well. So much lost mining time. And I think what happened there, I know we came back at the last minute, but while the bunker was building, the SCV must have been bouncing from left to right to bottom, and the drones weren't able to attack it from either side. So amazing building positioning before the creep gets down, before the hatchery finishes. Just so impressive from Select, and it's little things like that that just make him such a cute Terran player, forcing so many Zerglings right now. Rhett would have loved for all of those to have been drones, and now Rhett, I'm sure, just not in the economic position that he wanted to be.
And you know what? He was already cheesing game number 1, so he's not in the best state as it is. Sees that right away, probably going to be playing on tilt a little bit too, which is unfortunate. Select is going to press his advantage, though, going right into some Hellions, and frankly, Rhett is, I don't know if he's going to be ready for that. We do have, let's see, Layer Tech is coming up right away. We also have a couple of drones. That expansion is already coming down, and Select is going to transfer that factory away. Looks like a barracks coming up for the time being on that reactor.
Yeah, he is switching directly into bio style here. He's just going to use these 2 Hellions to control the watchtower. Probably not going to do too much pressure here. Not going to commit or run by or anything like that, unless he's just trying to purely scout, because keep in mind, there is no link speed yet. Oh, almost able to find a window to get in there. Just going to continue to harass, and now he's going to fall back and hold on to that Xel'Naga tower, or maybe just hold a position outside the natural. No, he is going to fall back, and just now finally securing his natural. This is actually very rare on this map. Generally, you will see Terran players go for the wall at the natural way earlier than the wall at the main, and they will also oftentimes drop their command center at the natural. seleCT obviously worried about something, maybe worried that Rhett was going to get pissed off and try and do a Baneling bust after that first game, which wouldn't have actually been a bad read.
No, that's I've seen a ton of people go ahead and just go right into Baneling bust after that, and it's pretty effective on this map, gotta say. A couple of things to note, though. Looks like Rhett is going to rush for Spire right after that harassment was done, so Spire coming up before even Zergling's speed has started. Those Hellions are going to poke their way back in. They're not going to find too much success, though. This Queen and Spinecrawler will be able to hold them off. But seleCT, on the other hand, he does have that bio build that you were talking about. He has his starport done. Looks like a reactor coming up after this. We're going to have a little bit of a transition, it appears.
Interesting.
Because nothing's coming out of the starport quite yet.
He's primarily been using the factory just to continually build add-ons for other buildings. Not utilizing the factory yet, not trying to get siege tanks out. He is going to have a very early reactor starport, and he's going to have quite a few Marines and Marauders. I don't know how well that's going to do against this early Spire, though. I think Rhett will be more than capable of dealing with it. One thing that's great about early drops is if your opponent is doing some kind of a Roachling, Baneling build or something along those lines, he has no anti-air.
Right.
You can abuse the mobility. You can drop all over the place. You can pull him to and fro. But if he does get out a pack of Mutalisks, and we already do see 6 Mutalisks on the way for Rhett, and Zergling's speed is about to finish, I can't help but think that he's going to, maybe pick off a drop ship or two, shut down the drops at the very least, unless seleCT gets lucky and happens to circumvent the Mutapack while it's on the way to his
possible,
base.
and because I'm really curious to see how Rhett is going to control these, especially in the state that he's in right now. If he decides to just go ahead and rush in, prompt and do his damage and things like that, he may be able to catch these. Let's see here. Medevacs are making their way up. Actually, he switches to the side, but it doesn't matter. The Mutas know, and seleCT is going to have to drop down all of his Marines. Immediately does so, starting to do some damage to those Mutalisks. Manages to lose 3 Marines, though, and a Medevac. So the Vikings the Mutalisks do their damage. He is also going to pick off a couple of Hellions.
Forces his stim finished. And wow, able to pick off 2 of those Mutalisks right there, and now going to be able to pressure the natural a little bit. Rhett doesn't have very much to deal with this. I don't know if seleCT is going to be comfortable with pressing in right now. I don't think he has just enough Marines to force a push at the natural. He is, however, probably going to be able to deny this third, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. Just focus firing that hatchery. Rhett does get the cancel off, but he's losing a ton of units right now. I don't know why Rhett's trying to engage right here, rebuilding the natural, or the third tertiary expansion right while the Marines were there. Combat shield finishing in a very timely manner right as the end of that battle was taking place. So those Marines actually just becoming a little bit stronger right in the face of Rhett, but Rhett will be able to clean this up.
Yep, and it looks like seleCT is forced to stim one more time, trying to go after another Mutalisk there. Was pretty good control, almost managed to pick off a Mutalisk. It's very impressive to see players that are able to, right in the heat of the moment, they're able to just switch their attention to a unit, a key unit, instead of just kind of stimming at will and trying to take down whatever. Rhett following this up with a ton of Mutalisks and Zerglings, though, not actually producing any further economy for the time being, just trying to get out as many units as he can. Yep, because seleCT is ready with a... he was trying to put down the wall there, but here comes Rhett, and Rhett is not really going to be able to break through all that much. The tank doesn't go down. The Marines are killing all the rest of the Mutalisks, and I think 4 Mutalisks were lost there to take down 1 bunker and 2 Marines, I believe, were lost.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rhett might have just smelled a little bit of blood there. He felt like he cleaned up those 2 Medevacs and those Marines, so he might have had a little bit of a window of opportunity for some kind of a push here, but seleCT has great building placement at the front. Didn't even have to pull SCVs to repair that bunker, just let it go down, and was able to kill quite a few Mutalisks there. And, Rhett, actually picking off 1 SCV that was building that third, but, seleCT has more than enough Marines to hold this off. He's not going to take much damage from these Mutalisks, and seleCT actually probably going to take his third at a very similar timing to Rhett. So, Rhett definitely doesn't have his third saturated yet. seleCT's will be a little bit later, but he's going to have that third orbital, and he's going to be able to just macro out of taking that third. and he has managed to almost equalize the supplies at this point. It is 102, 109 to 100 right now. Both players spending their money relatively well, so this game is almost dead even, but you don't want to be dead even with a Terran player.
No, you need to be well up on supply. You need to be well up in supply, especially with the way that Select is going to have these super upgraded Marines. Oh, Rhett does manage to catch a small pack, but the Marines come back from Select, and they do take down a couple of units there. All the rest of the Mutalisks are flying away, possibly to come do some damage to the command center, but they're not going to do much as these Marines are pursuing. So yes, Select has evened up the supply between the two players. Red is putting out another 20 Zerglings. He has a Baneling Nest done. He's researching centrifugal hooks, but he's not able to put down any Banelings whatsoever yet, so he's working on just pure Zergling and Muta, and that is going to fall prey to quite a few of these Marines. There we go, finally, 16 Banelings.
He is going to get into that pocket position at the natural with both of his tanks. Going to start ferrying units to the high ground. This is absolutely crucial timing right now. Rhett needs to deal with this ASAPly. He needs to make something happen here. Otherwise, he is going to lose his natural expansion. He's going to lose all this mining time. Drones are going down. Queens are going down. Muta's now going down. He's going to be able to pick these Marines up and get them out of there, too. Oh my goodness, Rhett is losing so much right now. He is just getting shelled from left and right, tanks, Marines. Oh, this is just a terrible situation for Rhett. I don't know if he can recover from this. He's just been losing, you know, 1, 2, 3 Mutas at battles here and there, and he's never been able to build up that huge flock. He's losing 2 more Mutas right now, 3, 4, 5. Oh, man. I don't know how he's going to recover from this.
Nope, I think that's going to spell doom for him. Select is trying to move his way back in. The siege tanks already exacting their damage on the Zerglings. More tanks being brought up as well. And it looks like Select is just going to run his Marines around. Doesn't have any more remaining medevacs, but that's going to be plenty fine because he has enough units to go ahead and take these down. Rhett tried to run in and do some damage before, but Select was able to hold with his siege tank and bunker combination.
The main real quick there. I think it got taken care of, though.
The natural is going to fall as well. Select pulling back. Rhett going to lose the rest of his units, trying to move in with a few Mutalisks, but those are all red bar, and they are all going to die.
Oh my goodness. That is a lot of Mutas going down for not so many Marines. Definitely not cost-effective to trade Mutas for Marines 1-to-1. And trying to pick off that tank with his last 2 Mutalisks, and Rhett calls GG. Select able to take this series in a convincing 2-0 fashion, and that was quite impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very beautifully played there by Select, using his units so well. And, you know, it was a good example of continuing to put his opponent on tilt a little bit, too. He never really let Rhett get comfortable. He came up right at the beginning of the game with that bunker pressure, so Rhett was forced to produce a few too many Zerglings than he wanted. Select was able to sit back then and prevent the construction of Banelings for so long. Never really let Rhett spread his creep. Never really let Rhett set up a good position where he could receive Marines to him. It was just, I mean, extremely well-dictated game out of Select.
Well, that was one thing that was actually really interesting, is that Rhett never really attempted to spread his creep. I don't even think there was a creep tumor heading out of his natural at any point. Wow, which is very uncharacteristic of him, and I noticed that. I noticed that earlier on, and he never connected the creep between his second and third either. I mean, he did have a lot to deal with. You know, Select had those 2 early drops that he came in with and just started the pressure right there off the get-go, and then just continued to launch attacks here and there. But one thing you cannot do, and one thing that actually sucked for Rhett, is that the positional-based spawns on this map were definitely in Select's favor.
Yep.
Anytime you can just walk up in a straight line and get right to this sweet spot that we were talking about right here, you know, you did luck out a little bit. However, it's the onus is on Rhett to prevent Select from getting to that position. So you have to be active, you have to be in the middle of the map, and you have to overproduce on army a little bit. And, you know, Rhett didn't do that. He compensated, made a ton of drones after losing after that bunker early on, which, by the way, was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it really was. So congratulations to Dignitas Select. Does make it into winners round 2 here at the IGN Pro League. Looks like old Rhett is going to fall to the losers bracket, but that's okay. He still has life in him. Don't forget, guys, if you've enjoyed the IGN Pro League, check us out at ign.com/IPL. You can also find us at all the links down here at the bottom left-hand corner at IGN Pro League on Justin TV, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you've enjoyed Pain User and I's commentary, please do check us out at twitter.com/CatsPajamasSC2.
And you guys can find me at twitter.com/PainUser.
So until next time, guys, have a good one.
Stay tuned.